What is that? What is that?
All right, guys, we're rolling soon. He's a prince, you're a wannabe princess, you're in the Big Apple, it's magical, it's every time you kiss, time freezes, fort snow.
Maybe it's time for you to get a realer job and a girlfriend.
Don't forget your posture, stand up straight. I love her, she loves me. We're podcasting.
What do you do?
I make Christmas movies. Do you watch over the holidays?
We have a romantic.
Red flag alert. What about that girl, Ava?
Ava Shapiro from summer camp.
You know, you always had a crush on her.
She just moved back to New York. You keep in touch?
You know, touch or keep.
Go talk to her. That's a sign.
Ava Shapiro.
Leo?
How are you?
Great.
I am a struggling actress.
Hi.
So, to fuel my hopeless dreams, I tutor kids, little boys and girls.
Your Bar Mitzvah tutor.
Where were you when we needed you?
Why did Leo not get bar mitzvah?
No.
God, she could be the one.
She could be the one.
You know what to do.
Text her with a purpose. Coffee. Well, coffee is finite. But a bar mitzvah tutor.
Why do you want to have a bar mitzvah?
I have a little crush on Ava Shapiro. So I'm just here to learn the Hebrew, get her to fall in love with me, happily ever after. You only get one.
People do crazy things when they have a crush.
Will you have to get circumcised again?
You never know.
What have you done that is compassionate to others?
I held a baby.
Okay. What else?
For my Bar Mitzvah project, I am going to fall in love with someone.
That's creepy and weird.
You're so worried about falling in love. You don't see the love all around you.
I'm 30 years old, having a Bar Mitzvah, trying to live out some insane fantasy in my head. I feel no more Jewish than when we started this whole thing.
Being Jewish is not about feeling Jewish.
Shabbat Shalom. Merry Christmas.
Bagels on the house.
Thank you.
All right, get out of here.
This is a cultural stereotype that you're, imposing upon people.
This is the Parshat Vayetze. It's from Genesis.
Oh, I love Phil Collins.
Can we start with an apology?
Oh, there's no need to what? There's no need to apologize.
Well,
Why apologize? What happened?
no, I'm waiting for you to apologize because no, I'm kidding. I mean, we scheduled this last week, and I just completely dropped the ball. And I just hate that it's happened once, or it's happened over the years. I mean, it's in the but it was just really, I felt bad about it.
Oh,
I apologize for that.
very kind of you to say, and it's no worries at all. I was excited to talk as always because it's been a while, and
I know
it happens. It's hard to keep track, especially with Zoom and stuff. It's hard to keep track of these things.
I was going to say, usually if it's in my calendar, I try to be in the habit of checking like the night before, at least the morning when I get up, like my calendar, like just make sure I know what's happening this morning between the podcast. I have a full-time job. I've got, other things. And so I just like to make sure it's all like I look at it so I don't do exactly what I did. So when the publicist, lovely person reached out, I was like, oh, it's just not in my calendar. And then I said, well, I looked in, and then it was. So I'm like, I'm going to be completely transparent about how dumb that mistake was.
Oh, please. No, it's okay. It's totally okay.
I appreciate your generosity. Anyway, it's good to see you again.
Likewise. Long time no see.
It is. I know. It was on, I have a note here, September 10th. Well, the year, 2021. So it's been 4 years.
Yeah. And you look fantastic. And the voice, I know the voice well. And it's I've moved apartments since we recorded last. And
I have moved from an apartment, that's true, to a house, but this where I am now is in a radio station. And
this looks like a different background than what I remember last time.
Yeah, I was in my probably bedroom the last time.
Oh, is that right? Okay,
I moved up to the Hudson Valley, like not long before we met, and I just found on Craigslist, I had one place arranged and it fell through. And so I had like weeks left before I had my move, and so I found a place on Craigslist. It worked out fine for the first 2 or 3 years I lived in that place. And it was a little small, but hey, it was comfortable and it was inexpensive. So
Totally.
and I was able to, go through the majority of the lockdown, at least in with, the fresh air, and it was nice.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
That's lovely. Yeah. Well, no, it's great to see you. I'm glad to be talking about the movie and everything like that.
Yeah.
Audio check on my end, by the way. You can hear me okay? Wendy said.
I hear you great.
Great.
And
Perfect.
you?
Good.
Me?
Yeah, you sound fantastic. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, yes. I mean, you've been busy.
It's been busy, been trying to execute on the craft and the promise of making movies. And, given the current climate of independent filmmaking, it feels as if, last time we spoke, that was for Dating in New York. And since then, there's been 1, 2, 3, and then 31 Candles will be 4 films. And, interesting, just to jump to an interesting part of that, I'm envious of the filmmakers from the 90s and 80s where you could kind of get away with making one movie every 3 or 4 years. And now I feel as if to have a stable job in this business, you actually kind of have to do one a year,
Are you saying, when you say one a year, are they your films that you created, or were you working on other films?
They were a mixture. Dating in New York was all me.
Right.
The movie At Midnight with Monica Barbaro and Diego Boneta was for Paramount Plus, and the movie Xmas was an Amazon Prime film. And so 31 Candles was back to going to me, where I could, one for them, one for me. But they're all great. They're all fun, and I have a blast. It's not like it's ever feels like it's a job. But 31 Candles was completely independent compared to the other two, which were funded by streamers.
I see. Were those features too? I guess they were.
Yeah, they were.
Wow.
Yeah, Xmas is a movie with Leighton Meester and Robbie Amell. Came out 2023. It's a Christmas comedy.
Right.
Funny,
and your character kind of you plays. You're in the film in 31 Candles, right? He's sort of you kind of make sort of have fun.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly right. And then At Midnight was a movie that was kind of like Notting Hill, and it's about Oscar nominee Monica Barbaro, who basically is an actress and falls in love with Diego Boneta, who works at this very beautiful hotel in Mexico. And that was a Valentine's Day movie, very lovey-dovey, romantic kind of vibe.
Got it. Oh, wow. You really have been, well, can you describe, I mean, do you feel like you can bring your full self and be like, obviously, if you create something, you're written it, directed it, acting in it, producing it, etc., you're going to bring the full Feingold to this project, right?
Yeah.
Are you able to do that or muster that up for I mean, I don't know if you would call those works for hire, but
it's a great question. I try really hard to, because I think the filmmakers I've always grown up admiring always brought a sense of themselves to, no matter how big the project is. Could I point to a specific scene in At Midnight or Xmas and say, this is inherently in the same DNA as Dating and 31 Candles? I probably could, honestly. There's similar music and there's similar collaborators, so inherently that comes through with it. But the major difference really is the approval process. When with a movie like 31 Candles, if I want to cast Sarah Coffey as Ava Shapiro, I actually, we met on the internet. I DM'd her. We got together. Yeah, we met on TikTok, and I DM'd her and I said, let's do this thing together. And then we were making a movie together. And then when you do it with Amazon or Paramount, there's an email with 30 different people on it, and they got to approve it. And there's like a lit, there's all. Yeah, so that's the only difference, is really just there's like less roadblocks in the way of ultimately what you want, which I think can be helpful and also sometimes detrimental to some filmmakers. Like sometimes filmmakers actually make better movies with collaborator, with studio.
Oh,
input,
sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of cases of, for very indulgent filmmakers too. I mean, maybe there might be other reasons why it's good to be more collaborative with some sort of production company or distributor. But yeah, I could totally see that. Well, this one is about a guy who is having, what's his name again? The character?
Leo. Yeah, Leo.
Leo. He's preparing to have, he's decided to have his adult bar mitzvah.
Yes.
So, and here's the funny thing. I had an adult bar mitzvah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. When was yours?
My parents, well, even later, it was like at 40, but everything started later. I had with my son was like a month from being born. So I had this 8-month pregnant woman. I think she was my wife, is sitting in the front, anyway, but I just thought I'd share that with you. But it was very powerful to do it as an adult because I wasn't brought up with any, religious or let's say Jewish cultural education or my parents just were weren't doing that, and so when I did it on my own as an adult, discovered all that. So wanted to explore that.
Where did you grow up?
Yeah, I grew up in Queens actually, in Forest Hills, Queens, but I was living by that point I was in Manhattan, and so the did some synagogue shopping.
Did you have a party? Did you do the party? Did you have a theme for the party?
No, I didn't have a theme, but I did have a party, and two of my close friends each brought me a fountain pen as a gift.
Wait, that's exactly what my mom got me as a gift too. I have
of course.
It over there.
Well, that's the tradition. That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's really
that's awesome.
So I was able to relate a little bit to your character in that way.
Yeah. People seem to relate to this idea that later in life, you could like something you're supposed to do when you're a kid, you can do it when you're an adult, or no matter what. And that no matter what religion, people who see the movie seem to respond to this idea of being inspired. A lot of people are inspired to go confess their love for their their childhood crushes. And I think that's pretty funny. We had someone in the audience give a sort of story about how she's like, should I go after the person I was in love with as a 15-year-old? And we were like, well, we don't, maybe you should go say something, like to go just give it one last shot. So it's been cool to see the way the message of the film impacts audiences.
Well, how much of that was real? How much of that reflected your experience?
There was a summer camp crush for sure. Who
so funny.
Yeah, who definitely, I ran into her when I was in Los Angeles after college, and some time had obviously been years, and it was just where like, oh my God, I had the biggest crush on you kind of conversation. She was not a tour tutor in New York City. And she was like,
your character Ava, as you write, the character, your character Leo, right? His camp crush, who he runs into, and around this time is a Torah tutor, which people can figure out what that means.
Yeah, she's a bar mitzvah tutor for kids. She also just tutors children in New York City because she's very smart, and and she's trying to be on Broadway, and so
right.
That's like loosely based off a real crush, and then the journey of having the bar mitzvah was just more of a personal thing that I was going through, and I wanted to be able to learn through the process of making the film. But I think that even that there's a sequence in the movie. The movie opens up with an AOL Instant Messenger chat, and I think that that's like very indicative of just like, gosh, it's very indicative of the way that we would communicate with each other. She was a crush, but she was also just kind of a screen name for most of it. I really only knew her for, call it, 30 days out of a year.
Right.
And then the rest of it lived up here and all this AIM chat. So kind of interesting how the way a crush can grow. A crush is like, this is an interesting line, maybe a crush is like a seed kind of, and they can just grow. It can grow into a tree, and sometimes it doesn't even need, you don't even need to see the person again because your imagination does all the work for you.
Which of course is a big component, especially I think earlier in the internet days with the early dating sites, and maybe still to this day, but like how you can develop a crush or, in your imagination, build up, what some person in your mind. And, it's very, very, a shaky thing because, of course, when you do meet and they're not that person, it can be quite crushing.
Yeah, no, 100%. And to your point, sometimes the advice, like some toxic advice that I've received and given is if when you go on a date with somebody or you go on a second date and you really want to just constantly talk to them and make sure they had a good time and all this stuff. And when you're on the outside of that, when you're not the person on that date, when you're the friend, you actually should give the advice that other person's brain will do all the work for you and you don't need to do anything. If they liked you, it'll just exponentially grow in their head. And you've already done the implanting of what you are to them, for better or worse. And so the less you do, the better. It's kind of like pitching a movie, honestly. I've learned that the less you give, the better.
Really?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, and then they can fill in the rest with their imagination and kind of create their own exciting version of this.
Exactly. And then they're more likely to like it more if it's their idea. So,
That's very smart.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Free advice from Jonah Feingold for so yeah, those I was trying well, we should mention also, by the way, right now, even though I'm late to the table here, as we said at the beginning, we were supposed to talk last week. So the film is currently having a theatrical in New York City.
Yeah, it's November. What is the date? I just want to make sure I get it till right.
Today's the 10th. I thought it started on the 7th, but I could be wrong.
No, you're right. It started on Friday the 7th, and it runs in New York City until the 13th, unless we get an extension. We open in Delray, Florida, on the 14th, and then we go to Los Angeles on the.
Oh, but you're having maybe a premiere on. Okay.
Oh no, sorry, you're correct. You're correct. It's the 15th in Delray, Florida.
Then you're in LA on the December 5th.
Exactly.
I wrote it down so I wouldn't. At least I make up for some of my.
No, you're totally good, and you're totally right. My calendar is all messed up, so I'm glad that you had that.
So let people know that, and we should also let them know, and we haven't, that it. Well, maybe I'll have the trailer at the beginning so people can see that it is a comedy. It's a romantic comedy. It's a. I like that it's not really at the end about getting the girl so much as it is just about the growth of this character of yours, and just his growing up, there's the growing up from being a kid, but then there's also growing up as a man, and that's what the Bar Mitzvah should be about. But that's why it's so much more effective as an adult, I think, because it's yourself that's deciding to take this kind of leap in a way, and do this. What do you call a life event? One of those moments that define you, or like the head of a chapter in your life or something, and that's what kind of I think matures us, and when you have parents like you do in the film, and and then they're kind of and I don't know, we're allowed to be kind of immature as men for a long time, but it can grow tiring,
I agree with you, and I also think that 13, we don't remember. I don't know. 13 is not really a man. You're still very much a kid, and gosh,
23, maybe 33. I'd say.
Yeah, 33. Yeah, but also, I think sometimes I also think about it as I wish I could go back to college. I find myself yearning. I think that's the word. Yearning for education so much more at this age than I did when I was 20. Or in high school. I go on YouTube and I look up anything from economics to dinosaurs to Aristotle, to philosophy, and I'm like, wow, this is so interesting. I wish I appreciated this when I was younger. And so there's an element of that, and there's an element of feel good romantic comedy. But at the very end of the movie, there's, not to give it away to anyone listening, but there's an ending you might not expect. You know what movie I really liked? Have you ever seen Broadway Danny Rose?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Sure.
So do you remember the ending of that where they're at the Thanksgiving dinner? And it's one of the most I don't know why the ending is so effective, but there's this ending where he's at this party, this Thanksgiving dinner with all of his circus act clients.
His clients, yeah. Misfits, yeah.
Misfits. It's so bittersweet, and they're all weird. Yeah, it's all a weird
The guy
thing.
With the glasses, right? Who makes crystal glass music and
yes,
and whatever else. Yeah.
and there's this music cue, and it's like this really amazing like Italian song, and then Mia Farrow's character shows up and like just gets invited in.
Right.
And I just remember it's like such a he was with it. I was like, this is such an incredible ending. I don't know. For me, it's a movie I watch the ending of all the time. But I wanted to have this character Leo surrounded by his sort of like characters throughout the film, and then the girl is sort of like the last piece of the cake, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's called 31 Candles. And it also it also stars a recent guest on this podcast.
Who?
In Rabbi Judy Gold.
Oh my God, you get to speak to Rabbi Judy Gold. Yeah, that's right.
Well, it was this weird thing where I was approached about, because I'm upstate, and which by the way covers a rather broad part of New York State.
Yeah.
But I become familiar with the Borscht Belt Museum and Film Festival, and she was being awarded the Mensch Award.
Oh my God, cool.
And I was basically connected with her through the festival. She came on the podcast. This is like a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And we're supposed to come on for 20 minutes or something. It turned out, 45 minutes or more. But she was actually quite a good guest. And I mean, there's some controversial stuff in there, as one would expect. Yeah, then I did get up there for a few hours on the opening night, which I was able to squeeze in, and got to briefly meet her. But she was great on the podcast, so try to check it out after your theatrical business.
Oh, I will.
You have a few minutes.
I absolutely will give it a listen.
It's on YouTube and on audio. And it's funny because she said during this little public thing she did at the festival, she said she's in this new film, and she couldn't remember the name. Couldn't remember. Yeah. I mean, she had a moment where she was trying, and I shouted 31 Candles.
Yeah.
And she said she was referring to another film, but she says, "Oh, but I'm in that one too." Yes. So anyway.
She's in 2 movies right now. She's having a really cool. She just got cast in a big TV show. I just saw her announce that.
Yeah, right. She's also in a couple. Yeah, she's in a series as well.
That series, yeah.
But anyway, so she's in it. But talk about some of your other actors that are in it.
Yeah, well, there's the amazing Judy Gold, and by the way, she was there for 2 days and just a legend, and like commands a room, and you spoke to her and met her, like she's such a cool force, and so funny, and like improv, and like it's you just sometimes work with people who are obviously insanely brilliant and professional, and she gives that energy of like, oh, you're in this game for so long, it's all like you can do it in a second, and it's like incredible. We also have Jackie Sandler, who plays my mom, who's had some really wonderful roles over the years in her husband Adam's films, some like really funny scenes and characters. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't put it together. That's okay.
Yeah, and then Caroline Aaron, who has had an incredible career and continues to have an incredible career. And one of the things I love saying about her is we were doing a little Q&A at the Screen Actors Guild Theater, and I was listing some references for the movie. And then she goes, "All your references are my resume." And I was like, oh my God, what a line. And it's true, because she was like, she's in Sleepless in Seattle. She's the voicemail.
Oh my
Sleepless
God.
in Seattle. Yeah. So, and she's worked with Nora and everybody. And then we have also a really great group of like up and coming comedians, Sarah Coffey and Joey Dardano and Lauren Servideo and Larry Owens from Broadway, and Talia Suskauer from Broadway. She played in Elphaba in Wicked, a couple of years ago. And so we also have Lori Tan Chin, who's incredible. You might know her from Orange is the New Black, and Dale Moss, who's was a contender on The Bachelor TV show. And I'm trying, Kuhu Verma, Katarina Zoot.
Yeah, it gets scary, right? You all of a sudden you're terrified of leaving somebody out.
No, I know, but that's also the beautiful thing about the movie. And these 2 kids that we have, Zoe Hoffman and Derek Delgado, who are like the scene stealers, and they're like 13. These 13-year-old kids who were the most professional on set. They would.
That's funny.
Know their lines. They know how to get anywhere in a scene. when they were not on camera, they were in a corner reading a book. And it's like, that's I know. I'm like, you guys are
freaks.
Freaks. Yeah, exactly. So they're like, they're amazing. And no, just a really, really special cast and crew. And I like having the ensemble where you can kind of have no small role. Like everyone's role, no matter how many lines you have, is important.
Good. Yeah. Just check. Oh, yeah. So I got to all my questions. I want points, but I don't want to miss out anything you think is important to include. This is the moment here.
I think that this movie is a truly independent romantic comedy.
Yeah.
And we have this limited theatrical run where we're trying something new, which is not new, but we're trying something new for us, which is targeted releases where we do Q&As. So I've been at the Quad Cinema since Friday, popping into every screening, and we'll be there till Thursday, and we'll be there together in Delray, Florida, and we'll be there in Los Angeles. And I just hope people take a chance to go see this small film on a big screen, because it makes all the difference. It doesn't make much of a difference to us financially. Like, I don't think I'll ever see $1 from this movie, but it makes a difference to the act of going to support independent cinema and what I think is a feel-good movie.
For sure. I like that. Are you doing? And is anybody joining you? Has anybody joined you so far?
Yeah, I've had Sarah Coffey there. I've had Joey Dardano, the two, my Sarah Davis, and we had Jackie there on Friday, and we have our producers and our cinematographer who did an amazing job is going to be here tomorrow, as Tuesday, and we as much as the cast and crew as I can wrangle up to come be there.
Another thing that I find, just keep in mind rather, is like, when you're doing those, when you're lining up those Q&As, because I agree with you, I think you have to give some sort of value add to get people to come out and make it more engaging and interactive. Is maybe like a moderators, like the like invite people. They don't have to have anything to do with the film, but they just would be kind of like really like cool.
It's a fun idea. We actually had a comedian yesterday named Sam Morrell. Have you ever seen Sam's work?
I don't know.
Very funny.
His name sounds very familiar.
Yeah, he's great. He has a podcast, and he's a proper touring comedian. He's doing the clubs and everything like that. And I actually had him come in to like lighten up, just like kind of post a little thing. And
sure.
So I agree with you. I think that's a good point. And I know we're trying to sort something out for Los Angeles and for Florida. Jared Freed in the movie, who's hilarious, he lives in Delray, Florida. So I'm going to be hitting him up about that. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Well, again, 31 Candles, it's out there theatrically right now. You can also, by the way, if you're listening or watching, you can request. I mean, there are typically either independent cinemas or art house cinemas, or, multiplexes that will often hold a room for independent films like 31 Candles. If you request, you get enough people to request. This is it. I love how you're so committed to the independent film, and despite all the challenges in 2025, because it's not easy.
There's a lot. There's a lot. It's everything it's all a resurrection. So have you seen the new Frankenstein movie with
No, I haven't yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
I haven't yet either. I want to see it, but I think it's very potent to independent filmmaking. All films, in my mind, are resurrections, and they're always just trying to die. And so it's our job to like keep them alive. Like every part of the filmmaking process is trying to get this thing out of the grave, and everything is in the way of it going back down there. Like gravity's acting against this because it's not enough money, not enough time, not enough schedule availability. There's so many things, and it's just like, gosh, if you can get it to just sort of propel itself out there, then that's what you're kind of just feel like you're always battling. But I'm excited. I'm excited. Yeah, thanks. We're trying hard, but very happy and honored. And thank you for supporting and having me.
Oh, yeah. Well, I support what you're doing, and I think you're part of a great tradition of the New York filmmaker auteur type of in the making. And but speaking of which, I don't know if you have a subscription to Apple TV Plus, and I'm not typically pitching streamers necessarily, but the Scorsese series, really, but directed by Rebecca Miller.
Yeah.
You get a chance, please watch it. I think you'll really, because it's just a filmmaker, regardless of all his fame and power or what have you, really is first and foremost just a passionate storyteller, and still feels the same way about his projects that he did when he was just making his earliest films with no money, and some scrappy actors like Bobby De Niro and Harvey Keitel and all. But it's great. It's so amazing. There are moments in it that are astonishing, and I forget what I was going to say about it, but it's called Mr. Scorsese, and Rebecca Miller, Daniel Day-Lewis's wife, daughter of Arthur Miller.
You're the second person to tell me to watch it in the past 2 days. So it's
really?
absolutely going to start watching it.
Yeah, after your little job that
after
you have
the tour,
you're now hawking a very important product, and after your tour, which again I put that out there because I think people don't realize they can bring films to their area, and we have in Hudson, New York, a great I don't want to call it a theater. It's kind of a multidisciplinary space called Time and Space Limited, and it's in Hudson, New York, and it's really fantastic. They have 2 screening rooms, but it's also like an an exhibition spot too, and they have this used bookstore downstairs, and it's this scrappy place, but the 2 screening rooms are just fantastic. And
what's it called again?
Time and Space. Time and Space. Look it up. I would love to, even if it's like a one-off, or a weekend. They do often weekend screenings. It would be so great. I can introduce you to the folks there. I've done it for a couple of films, introduced some filmmakers through doing the podcast. And, it's just upstate New York is... and then there is also Upstate Films, which is, they run 3 cinemas up here.
Ooh,
in the Hudson Valley, which would be another plausible place. You have to see the guys that run that. I can put you in touch as well, and they have.
Oh my gosh, I would love that. Would you moderate? Would you come do a Q&A?
Well, of course, if you show anywhere in the area, you don't have to ask twice. Yeah, of course.
Okay, great.
Be happy to do that. It'd be a pleasure and an honor. But they've got theaters in They have a new micro cinema in Kingston, but they also have these two really cute theaters. One in Saugerties, New York, and one in Rhinebeck, New York. So.
Oh, sure. Cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway.
Great to know.
Then there's an audience up here that's has an appetite for going to the actual cinema, which is an independent film. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I'm gonna take you up on that.
Sure. Let's continue our conversation.
Yeah,
and I'll
awesome
put in just so I don't know if you have my
give me your email.
You can use this one.
Perfect.
Pretty straightforward.
Oh, easy. There you go.
Yeah.
Good email. Okay, great.
All right. Well, you have a successful time in Florida, and you said did you say Daytona or Delray? I can't remember.
Delray, Florida.
Delray.
On starting Saturday the 15th.
Got it. And in LA as well. And I'll have this up. 5th. Right. I'll have this up and out there before that. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right.
Adam, thank you. It's great to see you.
Same.
And thanks for the great conversation. And I'll shoot you an email as well about these theaters. It'd be fun to see
great.
each other.
Yeah, let's keep in touch about it. That'd be great.
Perfect.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers. Have a good one. Bye-bye.